And I will tell you one thing that I learned from 20 years of experience in food industry. Taste is before everything to the consumer. So if a food is not tasty, nobody will touch it. That's it. And therefore, this is the struggle of the food companies.
Boaz Noy, welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. I'm so excited to have you here. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me. I'm feeling quite good.
Well, you must be feeling good because you're having alternative proteins with NextFerm. And I'm so excited to dive into this whole world of alternative proteins, vegan food tech in general. And so take me already to where we're at today. So what is sort of the space that we're talking about that you're living in?
So in a simple way, when you're going into the supermarket, not only in Israel, all around the world, you would notice that the growing shelf is the shelf of alternative, meaning food that is vegan. This is like the nice word for vegan is alternative. This is the most growing segment in the food sector. And this is the most profitable area for the food manufacturers. And this is for a reason. Due to the fact that there are three main reasons for it. First is sustainability. That all animal-derived food creates a lot of, I would say, harm to our planet. And this is very well known. This is one very important reason that people are becoming vegan.
Not trivial, because a lot of times people think that a lot of vegans are because of animals, but it actually turns out that a lot of them are because of the impact that the meat industry has and the dairy industry has on our world, right? And our climate and our ecosystem.
So this is, for me, it's the main reason, but it depends, because some people are vegan because of mercy to animals. There are many, and today in the internet, I would say area, you can find very easily what any animal how animals are suffering in order that we can eat them, how they are being raised, in what conditions. And it's a very big issue. And I will tell you the truth, only after becoming vegan, I opened my mind to look into it. But today it became a very important reason for me to remain vegan, because now when I interact with animals, I understand exactly what they experience in order that we can eat properly animal-derived food as human. So this is another reason for people to avoid eating animals or animal products. So this is the second reason. The third reason, of course, there is the moral issue with the animals and the sustainability, but the health issue is another issue, because even little children, when they're going to doctors and suffering from all kinds of disease, they say, if you can avoid milk-derived products for a while, your child will feel much better. This is a very big issue. And a lot of people, the connection between dairy products and breathing normally, and asthma, and the connection between asthma to this, and the connection between cancer to eating animal. So there are a lot of, I would say, publications that speak about the connection between eating animal-derived products and all kind of illness. I wouldn't get into the reality whether what is true and what is causing what, but this is what people are feeling, and this is what drive people. These are the three reasons that drive people into becoming vegan and want to avoid as much as, or flexitarians, meaning to eat less of animal-derived products, or at least to replace some of it. So this is the main reason from consumer point of view.
So the world is changing in food tech. We're talking about vegan and alternative food. If what started off as a lot, just, logic before, now is becoming a big market, and we keep seeing it around. And there's a lot of different things to do in this market, in food tech and in veganism, and alternative food particularly. What are you doing with NextFerm, and what is really what is the real problem that you're solving here?
So to become vegan, meaning to eat vegetables, not to eat anything that's coming out of animals, or that derive from animals. And when you look into the shelf, you will find a lot of alternative products, but the replacement for milk will not have the proper protein inside. Protein is a real issue. Yes, to build the muscles, it's a big issue. And in most alternative products, there's a lot of compromising in nutrition values and also in taste, because today in the shelf you will find a lot of alternative products using all kind of plant in order to create these products. Now the plants are having less nutrition value as protein comparing to animal derived proteins. This is one thing to understand. B, they are less digestible to our body. This is another very important issue. And C, if you are taking a plant-derived protein powder, for example, from pea or from chickpea, in most cases, it will bring with it the taste of the plant. In some combinations of food, it will work properly. In others, it won't. And I will tell you one thing that I learned from 20 years of experience in food industry. Taste is before everything to the consumer. So if a food is not tasty, nobody will touch it. That's it. And therefore, this is the struggle of the food companies, A, to bring very tasty food, and B, to keep it nutrition enough and to keep the nutrition at a high level. If you will take, for example, cheese industry protein, I would say alternative cheese, and you will look at the labeling, in many cases, you will find that the protein levels are very, very low. The same with milk and many other products. And even if you have the same amount of grams, like hamburgers, which are vegan, you will find that they have 20 grams, but not always all the amino acid, not always in the same digestibility. And the amino acid composition is dramatically decreased comparing to meat itself as a protein. So there's a lot of challenges in this industry. Now, what NextFerm actually conducted, we developed protein derived from yeast. Yeast is a microorganism known to us to live in bread or to create alcohol. And because it's microorganism, the protein inside it is very similar in the amino acid composition and digestibility to what we are having from animal-derived products.
Mm-hmm.
So taking out the protein is having the same nutrition. The technology of NextFerm enabled us to do it in a very neutral taste. And this is the second most important thing, or the first main important thing. Because if a company would like to have an alternative cheese, they would like it to feel like cheese. They would like it with no different taste that they will have to flavor in order to take it out. So this is the main issue about protein. We call it the only protein with animal-like nutritional value and neutral taste. And this combination is almost not exist in the market today.
It's so interesting. First, looking back to the consumer behavior and the distinction that with all the rationale, our world is collapsing into climate change and animals are suffering and all the ethics around it, and you feel better. If you heard the taste, people go back to the old ways of being, which makes sense. It's so intuitive because you see it in every other industry. You see it in the cyber industry. You see it in the e-commerce industry. Ultimately, it's about frictionless experiences and how do you make it more accessible. And it sounds like you're tackling this problem from the biology of it, right? From the root of it. How do you fit into this sort of ecosystem of food tech? Where does your product live in the stack? Who do you integrate the product into? Who do you sell it to?
So actually, NextFerm is a B2B company, meaning business to business. We are selling the powder of a concentrated protein derived from yeast with a neutral taste and animal-like nutritional value, as mentioned, and we sell it to food companies. Now, our powder can integrate to many products. It will not always give the whole solution, but it gives the protein into it and does not influence the taste. So if, for example, we are selling to a dairy company that would like to have an alternative milk or alternative cheese, they can put our powder into their product in a way that it will be very tasty, vegan, and with nutritional value like real dairy. If you are taking one of the most known products of alternative, meaning oat milk, any coffee bar will have it almost all around the world, but still it's like water with taste. It's a little bit of gluten inside, which is a very low-ranked protein, very non-digestible, and it have like third of the amount comparing to milk. Our powder can fortify this oat milk and actually provide you the same good taste of oat milk with the nutritional value like real milk. So this is kind of how to make a product that everybody knows and love. And this is one of the most growing brands for many companies, and make it something better. Where NextFerm is today, we just started, like we launched several products, and our first low-hanging fruits is protein powders for sports nutrition, or it calls well-being. We are selling for powders for sports, which is we are like 85 to 90% of the product is our protein. They add some taste like chocolate, cacao, and all kind of sachets with taste, and getting the product. So this is the first low-hanging fruits, but we are already working with food companies. We had the first launch in Europe, in Belgium, of a spread replacement. It's like egg replacement spread, and we have excellent, we call it application. It's like food demonstration, cheese, cream cheese. We got compliments from the biggest companies in the world producing cheese. And I would say that food companies, it takes them more time to evaluate and integrate new ingredients into the line of products, but we are very progress with that. Just this month, we opened our first line of production in India. We are sitting on the source of the yeast, meaning the raw material, which is sugar. Actually, you are producing the yeast from sugar cane or corn, wherever, and then you take the glucose, make yeast out of it, and we are like in a zero waste process. We are getting out the protein and two other byproducts: yeast extract, which is the taste in all the vegan products, and cellulose, which is like fibers that you can provide for animals, and you can take beta-glucan out of it. So this is the whole process. So we are just starting now in the production in big scales and growing scale. A lot of customers are waiting to launch products that are based on our protein, and this is super exciting.
And Boaz, bottom line question, does it taste better?
Of course, this is a tricky question because our mission is to be as tasteless as possible. So the food producers are adding the taste.
Got it. So the distinction is that what happens with it, let's just look at the protein powder, which is a huge market, I know, and I've tested myself a bunch of alternative proteins during times in which I was practicing more veganism. And it sounds like what you're saying, that the big part of the problem is that as you transition to alternate protein sources, you're effectively introducing bad taste, which is leftovers from the plants, which is what you said before, and you're effectively trying to neutralize it so that then you can just enjoy the pure taste of vanilla, cacao, chocolate, etc. Boaz, tell me a little bit about yourself. So how did you get wrapped into this world? And how did you discover this? Why are you so passionate about this?
You know, my background is financial. It's very funny. I'm a certificate public accountant, and I'm opposite of it for many, many years. I started at a company called Enzymotech. It's a food tech company. And I had a great journey. I became the senior VP and the head of the nutrition division. We developed ingredients into the world of nutrition. After taking the company into the NASDAQ, I left the company. And then a few months afterwards, I got into another food tech company, and we didn't deal at the beginning with protein at all. We started with other ingredients that derive from yeast, that related to yeast, because yeast is the main technology. Our company is developing products that are derived from yeast. We are improving the strains themselves in a non-GMO way, everything neutral. And we are doing a lot of extraction, purification to get materials without any taste. And when we bump into previous customers of us in the market, they told us, guys, you are the guys from Enzymotech and you are playing with yeast. Why won't you make protein out of it? This is the most biggest thing. We thought, they are right about it. And this is how it starts. But after I jumped into the subject and started to learn it myself, I fell in love and became vegan myself. And since then, for several years, I'm already vegan. I didn't touch anything, perhaps without knowing. I have funny stories, of course. You don't always know, but I jumped into the subject and decided for myself, it's great. And I was a great carnivore before. I ate a lot of meat and eggs and dairy products without any problem. And all of a sudden, it goes from 100 to 0. And my body like it. I feel much better. I feel healthier. And I don't miss anything. Of course, I would like to have more products which are vegan. And today, you are eating sometimes more carbs that you would like to have as a vegan, because the solutions are not full, are not 100% as mentioned. But Israel is like a heaven for vegan. A lot of products here, a lot of innovation, and it's not very hard to be vegan in Israel.
Wow, I think those are all amazing reasons for why you're doing what you're doing. Tell me about the future. What is in store for us? If you think even 3, 4, 5 years down the line, what is the future for the world of veganism? What is the future for NextFerm, for alternative proteins in general?
According to Boston Consulting Group, they published a year ago, something like that until 2035, which is not very far, 10% of the products derived from animal will become vegan. 90 will remain. This is like, I'm talking about $300 billion market. So if you are calculating, it's like a growth of 20% per year. So in this industry, most people will remain carnivores, but more and more people will become flexitarians, will change small parts in their diet, like in many countries. In Germany, they have like a vegan Monday or this kind of thing, that one day they are not eating animal-derived products, or they are replacing their milk, or they are replacing a meal, or whatever. But every such a thing creates another percentage in this equation. I believe that...
Is there a future in which everybody's vegan?
I don't know, because food is like a religion for some people. And to be honest with you, I don't believe in there will be a reduction, but as long as the world is growing, more and more people will have to be vegan, because you cannot feed the entire world with cows and with pigs and with animals. And therefore, it's like step by step. More products which are vegan and good will create people easier transformation. This is one issue. More regulation to avoid to grow animals because it's harm the environment will create more solutions and higher price for animal-derived products. So this role of evolution for this industry will create a change. I'm not sure that it's a short like 10 years. It can take 50 years or 100 years. But in 100 years, I believe that veganism will be the most. In 10 years or 20 years, even if it will be 10 or 20%, it's huge, unbelievable growing market for company like us. I hope that more people will become vegan for the planet, for the animals, for their health. But I'm not preaching for anybody. My family, my wife became vegan with me. My kids are doing whatever they want. And I'm cooking them whatever they want. I'm not radical on this issue, and I'm going to any restaurant, in any place I can find things for myself. So everybody has his own choices, and it's okay. And even to choose to replace one meal is great in my eyes.
Boaz, thank you so much for joining me. This is such an awesome space that you're in. Such a cool company and cool personal story. So thank you for providing this inspiration for me over these 20 minutes. And I think that everybody that's tuned into this is also very much appreciative of it. So thank you very, very much. Best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I thought it was 1 minute.
I felt it too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.